the Backs of Gods. I am your Dungeon Master, Jillian, and we are here today with our players. Same as always, we have Frank, Kyle, Mac, Josh, Abby, and Christo. Now, I think we are all excited to get back into it and get started, so I'm just going to give us a quick recap, and I think we can get back into it. So, last episode, you had all made it to the oasis, or at least what you hoped was the oasis. After crawling inside of this broken down, destroyed building, you found a golden bowl which produced an unending amount of water. There were notes about overcoming fear, about embracing fear, and that you had to drink before entering. All of you drank. When you entered the oasis after drinking, each of you got to experience a moment alone where all of you got to live through the embodiment of your personal fears. Saga and Tordrek were the first to escape, making it through after embracing fear, to which then it was a bit of a merry-go-round of walking around the room and hugging friends and encouraging them until everyone was able to break free from all of their fears. Once you all escaped these nightmares, you were inside of a room that had 5 pillars, 4 of them at kind of an arching diagonal, and a 5th one sort of lower and by itself, these white pillars matching the white of the room. You realize that these are bones and you are standing in the hand of Odin. Gorbjorn and Saga climb up one of these fingers before really knowing what it is to retrieve what they believe is the torch. Saga is first to reach this large ring, which shrinks down to fit her finger when she grabs it. Before she puts it on, she is given a warning by Nana that this is a piece of a god, that this is made from bone, that this is not just something made of stone or any normal ring, to which then she casually hands it over to Gorbjorn. The ring enlarges a bit to fit his finger, and he places it on. Now the shadows and the strange swirling and floating particles of dust around him now very visible to his eye. You all, after a moment, decide you will tell Bragi about this ring and that you will tell really nobody else of its origin, fearing the taboo nature of taking energy from a god who is passed. Tordrek felt the sled move, so all of you quickly left to go check on Bragi and the sled, seeing it missing. After Roshan, with some keen eyes, is able to hunt it down, you cannot find Bragi or Ave, but you do see blood and shattered, fragmented pieces of bone, and the sled completely upended, wood scattered everywhere. You can tell the wood's mostly from the box that had been sitting on top of the sled. But Gorbjorn can see a bit of a shadow, a shimmery image of Ave and Bragi laying on the ground. He wakes Bragi up, who you all quickly take him and Ave and all of you climb up into a rope trick. And after Bragi tells you about being attacked by something that wanted Ave, he says that he saw smoke. That is where we left off. What would you guys like to do?
I'd like to salvage what we can from the sled and see what we have left.
Okay, are you going to leave the rope trick to start going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gorbjorn, after getting, he helped Bragi up and in, and then hopped back down and has started to assess the situation. What about everybody else?
Right.
I think Finn would probably jump down to help Gorbjorn as well.
Okay. So Gorbjorn and Fen are team sled. Are the rest of you staying up there, or anybody else joining?
You said there were bone fragments and little puddles of blood, correct? Or
Yeah.
some kind of something like that in the ground.
Yeah.
Do I think the blood is from Bragi, or...
I would say it's easy enough to look at Bragi and see that he had been injured and had been bleeding. So
Okay.
it is likely at least some of the blood is from him.
Okay. I think Ro would probably let himself down after keeping watch with over the two on the ground for a little bit, and then start gathering up the bone shards and see if he could perhaps do a little ritual that Ave taught him to learn anything more about where they came from or what might be following us.
Okay. Easy enough. A strange amount of bone shards. There seem to be like groupings. So if you go over to one of the groupings, you are able to gather a good amount of bone shards, varying from the biggest pieces maybe being 2 inches, but
Okay.
they are near completely exploded. But you start gathering them up and preparing for this ritual. What were you going to say, Nana?
Nana's going to kind of sit down near Bragi and try to kind of get an assessment of his condition, see where he's at physically and mentally, and try to see whether or not she may be able to coax him into giving a more complete picture of what happened.
Okay, so to get an analysis of Bragi, either give me a medicine check or an insight check.
Okie dokie. Let me figure out which one of those would be better. Medicine, insight. They're both the same.
Pick one.
Alright, let's say medicine. Well...
Meant insight.
It'd be the same. It's a 6.
Okay. You can see that Bragi is very injured. Like, you saw him after being trapped for who knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to walk once you gave him his legs back. You saw that Gorbjorn had to do all the work. Bragi was not walking. And he lays here now just sort of breathing heavy and trying to. But he's not really moving. He's just sort of laying there with Saga.
Okay. Bragi, I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. Will a potion help you? Do you need food? What might help you to feel a little more yourself?
He looks over at you and he just... It almost looks like near sleep deprivation as he looks over at you. I am... I just think I need to rest.
All right.
I need to rest for a while.
Of course. I don't want to press you. I know you've been through an ordeal, but so long as there are people on the ground, if you know of anything we need to look out for, any warning signs, sounds, perhaps, that might alert us to the presence of whatever attacked you, that would be appreciated.
It wasn't a sound that I heard. So... It was like a ringing in the ears. Like something felt off and I felt cold. And so I went back to the sled. I was investigating the smoke.
Where did you see that smoke?
It is not far. There is a ledge. I saw the smoke coming from the other side of the ledge.
All right. Okay. The ledge, was it... Which direction from the ruins was it?
He points a finger, and he is pointing like forwards past the spine. Like if the spine had continued in that direction, like past the oasis.
Interesting. All right. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that. Once we have an assessment of what remains of our possessions, we'll take a look at that later. You rest, all right?
Right. Meanwhile, down below, back outside of this pocket, Gorbjorn, you can see directly into this space. You can see your friends just sitting there, kind of floating in the air, sort of a shimmery version of themselves.
My concept of magic is really poor, so this is like mind-blowing that I'm just friends just floating in the air.
Oh, wow.
He's like, wow, this shit's crazy.
Magic is wild, man.
Roshan, you're continuing to collect bones. Gorbjorn and Fen, are you trying to see how much of it you could gather? Are you trying to kind of get everything back together?
Yeah, I'm trying to see what we can find in the way of any of our supplies that we might have lost.
Okay. I would like... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think most of our rations, most of our bedrolls are probably on that. Just trying to figure out what we can get back.
More concerned about my golden objects.
Yeah. Gold. I would like... I know that Saga is not part of this. Everybody who put their rations on the sled, please raise your hand for me real fast. All right.
Saga was the smart noodle.
I am going to need... Saga's like, I didn't expect this, but you know what? I expected this.
Yeah. It's she just has been on her own for too long. She's too used to holding her own stuff. It's like, gotta hold on to everything. You never know. But I'm sure it's Lady Satyr. She prophesied that I should have it, of course.
You're like, thanks, lady. That worked out for me. Gorbjorn, go ahead and roll me perception. Roshan, go ahead and roll me arcana.
Got a 6.
Even with your obscene, all-seeing eyes?
I'm only looking for gold.
I'm not looking into the beyond. I'm looking for gold here.
My total arcana was 19.
Okay. You set everything down and start to get to work. Gorbjorn, you start to look about. You see that there are rations and pieces of wood and supplies thrown about, but there's something important you got to get to first. You find your horn. You find the gold piece of wall that you had pried off. You do not find the golden lid.
No! It's my favorite.
You start looking everywhere and just cannot find it.
Just like throwing objects around.
Oh no!
Throwing things.
Can we hear that up in the rope trick, or is that separated sound-wise from... I don't know.
I believe people in the rope trick can at least see the outside world. So you guys can see just Gorbjorn throwing things.
Ooh, I think he lost one of his shinies. Oh dear.
I know the feeling. It's really frustrating.
First, I would like everybody except Saga to roll me a d20.
I got a 6.
11.
18.
16.
4.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Roshan, could you talk me through what you're doing?
So Roshan picked up as many of the bone shards as he could find, and if he could find quite a bit of them, he would probably make the ritual circle out of the bone shards and then also have a pile in the middle. But if he didn't have enough, he would just probably draw it in either on some snow or in the snow with some charcoal, and then draw some other arcane symbols, and then once that was done, put a little bit of magic in it and hope he gets some kind of result.
Okay. As you focus on that, I need a calculator because, as you all know, I am not smart. As we have all learned on our days together.
I make stories, not numbers.
Is that a Fallout Boy song? Okay. All in all, you guys find... Okay. You find 51 rations that are still salvageable.
Right.
In total.
Well, it's
then
not
all of
awful.
Saga's.
Well, yeah.
How many did I have?
You should have, I think, 15 left. Unless you started with some, but from what Ave gave you, you should have about 15.
I did start with some because I had some from my travels.
So whatever you had from that, plus 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of you may have had that, but you also may have thrown it onto the sled as well. But 51. As Gorbjorn just slow motion, just throwing things into the distance.
It's like Aragorn's freak out in the Two Towers, but like...
He breaks his toe. We used that take. It was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Roshan, you start to do this, and there's a moment where it's just almost like a feeling of satisfaction that you're like, I think this is actually working. Gorbjorn, you can see it before it starts happening. You just see, it looks like you just kind of see like little wisps where the bone fragments start to like just move upwards and around, and you're like, cool. And then it becomes visible to everyone who is looking. Roshan, you watch as this broken fragment makes almost a ethereal version of itself, which you watch kind of blaze out like a firework, and then like in slow motion backwards it starts to lift and is up, and it starts to come back together. You watch as the fragments lift up, form back together into the shape of a skull, and then fly back past you, and it looks like it hits something, is pulled back, and then it looks like it is then seated inside of something and sits there solid. And then you watch in forward motion something, the skull pulled out, then back, then forward, and you watch as its ethereal form once again shatters onto the ground.
So the bone shards came up and made kind of a skull, and then trapped inside the circle, it tried to get out.
Your arcana was high, so what you think you were seeing was it reliving its last moments.
Okay.
Which consisted of it being taken from somewhere and being thrown and then turning into these bone shards as it hit the ground at a high velocity.
But whatever was throwing it was not visible by way of this spell.
No, it was only shown that it looked like it was kind of like jammed in somewhere and then like pulled free. Somewhere to you, it looked like maybe 15 feet up.
So Ro will wait until anyone's gathered around or starts asking questions. And whoever comes down and asks, he's like, I'm not quite sure what that was, but I think at one point these bone fragments were a skull, and somehow they'd been made into an explosive device. I'm not sure what Bragi couldn't see from them, or why it was hidden from his vision, but we're a little further to understanding what it was, I guess.
I feel like by this point, if Fen and Gorbjorn and Roshan haven't come back up into the rope trick, Nana's going to come down to check in with them and make sure that everything's kosher. I would guess she would have heard Roshan's report there.
About how long has it been since I cast rope trick, by the way?
We're probably, after all of that, we're going to be at the 30-minute mark.
Okay.
Getting everything together.
I just want to be mindful of it. I didn't set it very high, but I also don't want to drop everybody unceremoniously under the ground.
Yeah. You're about halfway through. Luckily, the sled seems to be okay. The box that was carrying things on top, not so much. We're about to do another bunch of rolls, and I hope everyone's really excited.
Oh, very.
I'm going to assign roles to people and have a good time. Saga, I would like you to roll a d4.
Okay. I was just gonna say what I've been doing the whole time, but it's fine. Go through this first.
Cool.
Yeah.
This won't affect time. Roshan, roll me a d20.
10?
I got a 4. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Fen, roll me a d10.
My favorite. 4.
4. Okay. That'll be fine. Okay, I need Nana, go ahead and roll me a d20. Tordrick, go ahead and roll me a d20.
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a 4. I'm rolling a lot of those.
4
No,
squad
like
up in here.
I guess. 4 out of 20 is not as good as 4 out of 4, though.
420 is the
Unless
max.
it's
420. Heyo.
And then Gorbjorn, would you please roll me a d20? I will give you advantage, take the higher number.
4.
2, 4.
Okay, I got a 9.
Okay.
The other was an 8.
You know, it makes sense and it is what it is.
Oh no.
Saga, would you like to tell me what you've been doing?
Saga's just been sitting up in the rope trick, ripping up her dress again to wrap up Bragi's wounds and help clean the blood and keep him together again. She's kind of just been wrapped up in that and feeling really scattered with everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd rather not be down there where there's the blood and the bones and everything all scattered around. So,
Makes sense.
yeah.
You focus in on Broggy because it's kind of nice to be able to focus in on something and not the chaos that is outside of this tiny pocket that you are now in.
Yeah, she's kind of just muttering to him and also to Lady Satyr at the same time, saying like, "Oh, it's all gonna be fine, and we're gonna go talk to the giants, and they're gonna be super nice, and they'll help." Yeah, just
Tordrick,
Positive thinking.
Tordrick, are you staying in the rope trick during this?
Yeah, he went to the body of Ave to make sure that it was not touched and ripped up or torn the wrapping, and then he began to pray around the body to hopefully cleanse of any dirtiness that may have happened to it.
Okay, go ahead and roll me religion.
Roll high, no whammies.
8.
Okay. You pray, and that does what it does for you, and a moment of calm after what all has happened. But it does not look like there was any damage to Ave's body. There is blood on the body, which you can only assume came from Broggy.
Of course. Okay.
Broggy kind of taps your arm, Saga, and kind of like motions you closer.
Is everything okay? Did I hurt you? I'm sorry.
No, I am fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah, Lady Satyr she'll help you heal up real quick. We have a job to do, so she wouldn't want you all hurt like this.
I want to tell you this while we are alone. We cannot go back for those giants.
Why not?
Giants. They live separate for a reason. And I say this knowing who I am, but they have changed.
They were very nice.
They thought they were getting something.
Well, they're struggling just like Nana and Fen's home has been struggling from all this corruption. They might just be on edge because of that.
I admire your hopefulness. I do not think that is the case, but I just wanted you to know how I felt. I do not think it is good to bring giants, even if they would listen to you. I do not think it is good to show them where your people live.
But we said we'd help them. You told them that we would help.
I was informed by your group that acquiring this artifact and taking it home would fix the corruption. Maybe that will help them.
Well, yeah, of course it will. That's what the prophecy says, I think. So, I'm sure it's fine. I just don't understand why we wouldn't help them out if they helped us out.
How did they help us, Saga?
Well, they let us pass through, and they gave Tordrick some more. I don't know what he always wants, that fizzy drink, spicy. I don't know. I don't really like it, but he really does, and so that made him very happy. So that was very helpful.
I think you are very kind.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
It is something that I think we can discuss more later, but I just want you to know that I do not think your people would be safe living in such close proximity. Maybe it is best they stay here And if it helps them when we cure the corruption, then that is a good deed, I believe.
I don't know. I think, you know, you say it's they live separately for a reason, and this and there might be dangers, but like people have treated me like I'm very dangerous before, and I'm really I could be maybe with when I'm not good at controlling the magic, but I'm not really. I really try not to be. Maybe it's just like a misunderstanding. You don't know. It's hard to live separately from other people. It's hard to be all alone. I mean, they have each other, but maybe they just have never lived around other people because everyone just thinks that way.
Perhaps you are right. I will say, I think the main difference between you and them, if you are drawing comparison, is that you try.
Of course.
I do not think they would. I have been gone for a long time, but from what I have seen, I do not think they would try.
Well, Broggy, I think we're just gonna have to wait and see. I don't think we should make assumptions about people and what they're gonna do. All right, I'm sorry, but I'm putting my foot down, and I don't think that you should be acting like that around people. It's just not very nice, and Lady Satyr would not approve.
He smiles. You're right. Anything for the lady.
Yeah. All right, let's get you finished up. I'll mend some of these ribs and stuff. Be careful.
He nods, and then he kind of does a glance over at Tordrak, who he's sure heard the whole conversation. I am going to tell you how much of your things you found. Welcome to Did You Lose All Your Items?
Good.
So, of the things on the sled, there were 3 50-foot ropes. You still have all 3 ropes.
Hey!
There were 20 pittons. There are now 10.
Oh.
There were 7 small hammers meant for hammering in those pittons and climbing. There are now 4.
Oh.
You have also lost your replacement coat. It has been torn to ribbons by something.
Oh boy.
Also, your tent has been...
The other one?
Yeah, the one that is not holding Ave has many a gash in it. So it can be repaired possibly, but right now it is damaged. You still have 1 healer's kit. You still have 2 snow shovels.
That's good.
And you have 9 arrows.
Oh boy.
Those are the things you found. Welcome back to, all your stuff is gone.
Hooray!
Gorbjorn, would you give me a perception check, please?
Okay. 18.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
You are still on the prowl looking for your favorite piece of gold that you found this whole time. And so you're kind of just scanning the area, looking around. And you see something. It is the same sort of shimmery image as these dust particles, but it is bigger. It is not as big as you. And you see it for a moment, and then it looks like it sort of like ducks away, hidden.
I happily jog over to it, like, I found you!
Oh no! Oh boy!
You jog back over to the oasis, which is where it kind of ducked behind some rubble. For a moment, as you look over the edge, you are looking into the face of something humanoid but only for a split second as it disappears kind of back into the rubble.
Like it phased through the earth?
Yeah, like it phased through.
That makes no sense to Gorbjorn. But then he remembers that there's a bull in there, but he's kind of scared to go it alone now. So he wants to call for Fen for emotional support.
Emotional support?
And combat support, I guess.
Alright, combat support I could see for sure. 100%.
The only emotional support he needs is somebody to hit something with it.
I get it.
I need a murder buddy.
Trots on over. Happy to help a friend.
Alright.
And then I'll make my way down and back into the oasis.
Okay, so you go back into the oasis. The floor is slick, but the bowl is already pried off of the thing it was attached to, and you see it still continues to flow water. You are going to attempt to pick it up and try to hand it to Fen. You see that, like, you kind of do that thing where it's just like, all right, does this peg fit into this hole, and this circle peg goes into this one? As you size it up, it is either going to fit perfectly, or it is going to get jammed in there, and you're not sure which. One of the...
Can I tie a rope? Like, does it have any handles or anything to it?
It does not have any handles.
It was designed as a fountain, not a carrying case.
Well, you could still do like a rope trick where if you do kind of like a double lasso and then like loop it together, you could have it upside down and pull it kind of, sorry.
Gorbjorn,
Fen would know how to do this.
Gorbjorn, you know that item is cursed. That item is cursed. Do you sure you want to bring it? You're going to lug it all the way through the mountains. Will it make you happy to have this?
Very.
Will it bring you joy?
Let's bring it.
This sparks joy.
It sparked some other feelings personally for, I don't know about all, but...
You are able to tie some ropes to it. You hand those, are you handing those off and being the one to push from the bottom?
No, I wanted to go through and then try to pull it.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're going to climb up as well, so it's you and Fen at the top, hoping it works out. I will let you, Gorbjorn, I will let you do athletics with advantage because you have Fen's help.
That would be an 18.
Okay. One hard pull. 2 hard pulls. And it's just kind of like, and it just pulls it out, and it kind of clang, 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 and it skitters across some of the stone. And you see that when it came out, it pushed something at the entrance. So the second it is free, you just hear the sound of collapsing stone. And the one way you head into the oasis closes up.
Just plan. On purpose.
This is what I wanted.
In fairness.
You can see that the bowl, now that it is outside of the oasis, is currently not producing water.
Good.
My least
I don't
favorite
think we
part.
want
I hated it that it did. I'd like it to stop. It no longer creates water. And it was basically like drugged water anyway, so really is it good to have? Maybe not.
For shenanigans.
Yeah.
Those are some awful shenanigans.
You guys want to do that nightmare thing again?
Well, I was thinking if the giant stole my lid, I could trade. Drink from this. It will provide much wisdom.
Oh
no! You were able to get it, and like with the ropes, you could either put it on the sled, or you could also tie it to yourself like a turtle shell. These are the kind of the options you have.
Turtle shell, got it.
You tie it around yourself with the 2 ropes, and you now have a golden turtle shell.
He's still unarmored, right?
Yeah, no, this isn't armor. This is just like a big backpack. Could it possibly deflect an arrow if one is shot at his back? Perhaps. But we'll have to see if he wears it in combat.
I'm just thinking like a good impromptu sled. Like I need to go down
Yeah.
this hill fast.
Time to go. Whoosh. Okay. Fen, you think there's maybe 5 minutes left.
All right. Everyone, I don't know how much longer that little perch is going to last. Let's get down safely while we have a chance.
All right. We're going to need to assist Bragi, and we're going to need at least 1 or 2 people to get Ave down.
Toldrick, can you lower Ave to us? Or do you need a hand?
I can try.
Let us know.
I will help.
That will do. We'll be okay.
I will catch.
Oh,
Honestly,
dropsies, huh?
No.
it's not that difficult from this position to sort of hand Ave down without much difficulty. Bragi is probably the more difficult situation because he is a living person, and you can't just kind of like hold him by the head and lower him. But Bragi is just sort of looking at the exit like, I honestly do not think I can support my own weight.
Well,
Toldrick will begin to take the body of Ave and move it towards the to the actual rope, where it can be. Is somebody going to climb up the rope and grab him, or?
yeah, Nana will meet him halfway and kind of help to like ease him down.
Yeah, you guys definitely are able to get Ave down without too much of a hassle.
And Nana will kind of like carry Ave over to the sled once it's back on its runners and get him perched on there again. Kind of like keeping one eye on the rope trick, making sure that somebody's going up to give Bragi a hand.
Bragi, can you...
He does not have the strength to help with that.
Bragi, can you hold on along my shoulders if I put you on my back?
Feel comfortable, yes, I think I should be able to.
All right, I'll go up and get him, and it's just a short little fireman's pole down to the ground. So
Toldrick will climb down right after Bragi, and that way, if Bragi starts to fall back, he can grab onto my butt and not fall back.
This butt is for safety. You are able to fireman pull down with Bragi, who once you have landed, he kind of like gets it to where he's now standing and not trying to put too much weight on you, but he is like holding on to your shoulder because it doesn't look like he can stay solid, is what he is currently doing.
All right. Is Saga, are you down now too? Is that the last of them?
How like high is the jump down?
It's
Only
about
10 feet.
10 feet with a rope to hang on to.
Okay, yeah. She'll put her gloves on and then slide in.
Yeah. Easy enough. Even if you landed poorly, it's not too much of an issue, especially with the rope. But you are able to slide on down, and you are now on the ground, and all of you watch is kind of just like a bit of a shimmer, and then the rope falls.
It's cold again.
It's cold everywhere in here, I'm afraid. But, all right, everyone, let's see. Where's everyone at in terms of how you're feeling for getting a move on? We need to figure out our next move from here. Bragi mentioned that he had seen some smoke just yonder past the oasis, and it wouldn't shock me if perhaps someone thought we were, I don't know, encroaching on their camp and sent some kind of spell. Although why they'd be targeting Ave, I couldn't say. But if nothing else, it might be prudent for us to check behind us before we put it behind us, if you know what I mean.
We're also running quite low on rations at this point.
Yes.
I believe they were able to find 50 or so, and
50 or so days worth.
well, for one person.
Oh, yes.
One person living the dream.
We can, if we head straight out, we could probably make it close to the edge before we run out, but as it stands, we're really close. We're cutting it close by making any detours.
Oh dear. All right. It's my feeling that for the sake of safety, so we don't have potentially some, I don't know, sorcerer coming up behind us thinking we'd taken something of value from them, whoever might be at that smoke, presuming it's a camp, I'd recommend, at least so long as we're here, we take a look in that direction before moving out. But I agree with Roshan. We should move on to the edge of the valley as quickly as we can. We can at least forage for food outside of this place, but as you've all seen, there's nothing here for us to get.
I agree. If they have smoke, they have something to burn, there's some source of warmth. There might be something we can barter for them, even if it's just for information. They've made it this far. We don't know what's ahead of us, or we only know what's behind us. We haven't enough rations to leave the way we came without finding some more along the way. Let's head towards the smoke.
For now, at least, yes. And we'll reevaluate from there. How does that sound?
Well, I need to lose some weight anyways. So I'll volunteer not to eat as much as usual.
Tordric, think nothing of the sort. You are perfect the way you are.
Thank you.
They all have different shapes, and round is a valid shape.
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you. But just the same, it'll be helping everyone.
Well, so long as you're not harming yourself in the process. We'll need you at your best if we're going to get through this, okay?
Okay.
I'm pretty used to rationing. I think it'll be alright. I mean... Nana, didn't you have those... You gave me a berry one time. I mean, it wasn't that good, but I was really full after I ate it.
I do have those. I've got actually a little something that might help us stretch rations a bit further than that. I have both this pouch here, and she takes from her belt the pouch that she got from the bakery in Gulunder that Ave had purchased for her. They're preserved berries. They're not the tastiest, but they'll sustain you. It's not a full day's ration, not like a good berry, but it'll keep you well. And in addition to that, I do know the spell, Goodberry. I can at least get us a little something. There's no telling exactly how many I'll get anytime I cast it, but it may just get us through the last of this without starving.
Are you all going to start making your way in the direction? Once Ave's, he's down here too, I guess.
Yes, he is.
Once Broggy gets down, he kind of reaffirms the direction of the smoke.
All right. Well, if everyone's ready, let's head on.
Who is... Oh, go ahead.
We only have the one sled now.
You still have both. One of them is
Okay.
still like at the entrance of the oasis, which is
Okay.
just barely a walk away. But you have both sleds technically.
That's
Sweet.
good. I believe it would be best if Bragi took the propelling sled, so that he and perhaps someone else can stay well rested and uninhibited on the way.
I'm going
Arga knows how to drive it.
I'm going to have to sit.
I do, but I'm not tired at all. If somebody else wants to, it's fine.
Well, I think we've all had, well, we who were in the oasis had something of a, involuntary nap. Not exactly restful, but I don't believe any of the rest of us are tired the same way Bragi is. But I think it would be well, Saga, if you helped propel the sled.
Alright. Let's kind of stick a little closer together.
Yes, I think that's best. I agree.
Alright.
No, exciting tricks on that sled this time.
No, I don't think I'm up for it today.
That's more than understandable.
Easy enough for Saga to go kind of jog over and still be within like eyesight to get the sled. Bragi waits for you to go get it and bring it back, and then he just sort of he kind of just sits on the back because he just cannot stand at the moment, especially while it is moving. Certainly cannot stand. But he gets on. He seems secure. You reevaluate the sled. You no longer have a box to store things in, but you now have like some empty ration containers and whatnot. So it's easy enough, I would say, to take the leftovers of your supplies and get them onto the sled. You all make your way forward. And really, what Bragi said was true. It takes a moment of walking towards this direction and for like the right angle of the clouds in the sky, but you can see this like pillar of it's not that big of a pillar, but a thin pillar of white smoke making its way up, and you can see it's coming from like there is a ledge up ahead, and you can see it is coming from the other side below, and you can see a few softer ones, but one that looks to be closer.
Does it look like... I would imagine that Nana's had some experience burning different kinds of woods, different types of wood in the wild. Does this look to be anything strange, significant, different from normal?
Roll either nature or survival, please.
Okie dokie. Nature or survival? My nature is slightly better. I will take that. I could just roll better than a 10. It's an 11.
Okay. You're watching this fire or this smoke rather, and it doesn't look incredibly abnormal.
Okay.
It's not like, that's very weird. I don't know what they're burning. It's like, oh, that could be wood. You don't think it's anything, certainly not like a signal fire, which would be darker, if they were able to find any vegetation. But
not big enough to be a bonfire either, I'd guess.
It does not seem that big, and it seems very contained.
Okay.
Can we smell
Could
it?
be a...
I would say once you get pretty close, people are welcome to roll perception if they would like to.
Oh boy.
That's my favorite.
Perception! Man.
Saga likes looking at things.
That's an 11 again.
Get a 12.
19.
Thank God for Saga.
18.
Oh, someone beat me.
Who needs rangers?
Yeah! Nah, ridiculous. Useless class. Get rid of him.
Tordrek and Sug, some people would agree with that.
Yeah.
There's a large community of...
Nana is hurt.
Saga and Tordrek, it hits you guys first. First off, kind of the smell of burning wood, and then something akin to like the smell of stew.
Oh.
Food.
Yeah.
I
You
smell
smelled-
food.
Yeah.
Drooling.
Huh. Well, if nothing else, they might have a little extra they might be willing to part with for trade. Maybe. We could use all the extra we could get.
It's not as good as what I smelled before I came to your the wedding thing that you guys had, but it's not bad.
I'd be willing to take it, honestly, at this point, if they're willing to perhaps share a little.
Are you guys going up to the ledge?
Yeah, just to kind of try and take a peek. Should we have someone scout the terrain first?
But what time of day is it?
It is currently, I would say it's around 3 or 4.
Okay. Fen, why don't you and I go forward a little ways, see if we can find an outcropping that we can look over without being overly exposed, shall we?
Yes, sounds like a good idea. Jillian, sorry, I backtrack a little bit. Among the things that we were able to recover, did we happen to find the cask with the yogurt skin in it?
Interesting. Was that on our sled? Oh, yeah. It would have been.
I would have been on one of the sleds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't have been on the Zoomy sled.
Could have tipped over and spilled yogurt everywhere. Yogurt skin. Awful. Awful.
I mean, black yogurt skin does kind of sound like a British dish.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, no.
It's no
like
worse
the
than
evil
clotted
cousin
cream.
of black pudding. Oh.
Fen, how about you roll me a d20?
It is a natural 1.
Oh, no.
Well, I think we know what that means.
That yogurt skin is nowhere to be seen.
All right.
It's gone on to live an interesting life all its own. It's just like a little punched out of the cask and just like...
It's like a little snail with like just a little cask as a butt.
I hate it! Oh, I hate it! It's a slime cask.
I love it.
I love it.
Eldritch slug.
Eldritch
No.
Ben and Nana, will you give me stealth rolls, please?
But of course. I am not rolling worth anything resembling a damn today.
24.
Oh, thank God for you.
It
I have
only
a
matters.
total...
It doesn't help if you give us away.
No, I mean, it's an 8. I don't know what you want. It's not a natural 1.
It's not.
Not trying to be pointed there. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just
it
saying.
Isn't a nat
stealth
1.
rolls only work in concert, though.
Yeah, well.
Not blaming you. Just saying. Damn these dice.
Yeah, I might need to switch them out, honestly. I was liking these for Nana. They were rolling nicely for me once upon a time.
Both of you sneak your way over. Nana, you're a bit off your game, and
I think that's understandable.
On being quiet. You both make your way to the edge and just kind of like 2 little heads pop over the side. You look and you've seen a lot of shocking things here. Horrible monsters and just things that you never expected to see before. Things you couldn't imagine. And you look before you at about 10 little stone houses built into the side of this mountain. No. You can see that the windows are alight softly with like some sort of maybe a candle or torch. You can see that smoke is coming from the chimneys. You see that there are little stone steps carved into the mountainside. And all of these houses are connected with what looks like a laundry line. And you can see that on these laundry lines, different things are attached to them. You can see buckets, and you see something that looks akin to like bushes. Like it's very strange, like amalgamation of things. But you think these houses are around, they're certainly nowhere near the size of the igloos you encountered. But these are people-sized cabins.
They're humanish size, humanoid size?
Yes, they are humanoid.
Interesting.
And they seem big enough, like if you were like, I was gonna live in a house, I could live in this house.
Interesting. I hadn't heard of another village on this part of the mountain, had you?
The ridge that we're looking over, is it a sloping ridge, or is it a steep drop-off cliff like we climbed up by Nana's friend, or?
It is a steep drop.
But how far?
Hundreds of feet.
Ooh.
It is a drop. This is a gap between like starting of mountains. It's almost like you can see almost a valley between these two spots, where the mountain continues on and this spot. You also, just from things you all would know, you've basically been told nobody lives in the Valley of Odin. It's impossible. And
so who's living here?
And living not like frost giants, but living in nice little homes. That's what you guys see.
Do we see any sort of conveyance across? Is there a bridge or like a rope bridge or anything that goes across?
Both of you roll perception.
I'm gonna pick a different D20.
Probably.
This one's not being nice to me today. I'm gonna try a different one and we'll see how that does.
That's another natural one.
You said perception?
Yeah.
Oh, well, alrighty. Yeah, I think the other dice was the problem. 22?
And what did you get, Fen?
I got another natural one.
Oh, buddy.
Fen is gobsmacked.
You need to retire those dice.
There's people living here. There's something like a person living here. Nana, you glance around after talks of maybe a bridge to get to the other side. You see nothing of the sort, but you do see, it looks like 2 platforms attached to pulley systems.
Oh, whereabouts?
It is like the far edge of these homes. You would have to like walk down the steps and around and get to it. It is not at the top of the ledge.
Huh, okay. And you're saying there's like kind of a stairway built into the side of the mountain here? Is it accessible from the ledge?
From where you are, I mean, if you move over a little bit, it is definitely possible to get down. And it's a combination of sort of stone steps and ledges and sort of inclines. It is just an accumulation of
inclines.
It inclines. It go incline.
Inclines.
I kind of like tap Fen on the shoulder and sort of like point down there to the little platforms with the pulley system. That looks to be how they get across. I wonder if they've got means of trade, or perhaps they could tell us how on earth they survive in this place. We could use all the help we could get. Perhaps they know somewhere to hunt.
And just because you rolled very well, I just want to correct you real fast.
Oh, yeah.
It does not look like these pulley systems are made to go across. It looks like they're meant to go down.
Oh. Huh. Down. Oh. I wonder... Do they have a mine? I wonder. Do you think we should head back? Get the rest?
I'd like to have more of an idea of what we're walking into before we get the rest, but I don't want to leave them out here in the cold. It'll be dark in a couple of hours. I
don't think we can make it all the way down there in any kind of a short amount of time, unfortunately. Maybe we could go partway down. Does it look like there's anywhere along the way down the ridge where there's not exactly a platform, but like enough of like a flat space where people could kind of like post up? Maybe halfway down or so?
I am going to have to say no. It does not look like it is meant for multiple people to get to, stand in a group together. It is just straight and narrow.
Does it look single file width, or could it be like 2 people?
2 of you could probably walk side by side, but it would put you close to the edges, which is then you're presented with the drop.
How quickly does it get dark down there?
Currently, you can see all of these houses, which go down about, you would think, near somewhere between 50 to 100 feet deep. But besides that, it just seems to go on and on. Part of it is dark to you, but it does not look like it delves into darkness. It does not look like it is going into like a caving system or something. It doesn't look like that.
All right. Nana, if you'd like to rally the others, I'll keep an eye here on the staircase, and if we have any visitors, I'll be here to greet them. However, whatever the appropriate way to do that is.
Well, give us a shout if they give you trouble, all right?
Absolutely.
Nana will make her way back towards the party.
Okay. You make your way back easy enough.
There's a village down there. I'm talking a people village.
Really?
We couldn't see the folk who lived there, but there's cabins. There's lights on. Fires burning, people at home.
And
it shouldn't be, but it is.
I don't mean to interrupt. I don't know if this will impact anything, but I'm going to use my Mask of the Wild ability to try and use some of the snow to hide myself while I'm waiting.
Okay. Easy enough. You zhuzh down into the snow. Man, it's cold. It is unpleasant. Donna, you went back to the group. You tell them about the houses and that there's smoke and there's lights and it looks normal.
There's even a stairway that seems to lead down the face of the mountain, more or less to this village. We don't know who lives there. We don't know what they might be like, and there's not really any place along the stairway down for us to really take a moment and rest or stay out of sight while someone else goes down to figure out what sort of people live there. But
why don't we just all go down? What's that, Tordrick?
Tordrick begins to get off the sled, and he says, "Show me where I want to see this. Let me look at this."
All right.
Real people.
Can I see too?
I think it should be all right if everyone comes along. Just let's maybe not make too big a ruckus. I say again, we don't know who lives here, and we can't assume they will see us as friendly.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be
Putting
fine.
down the giant horn.
Let's go along, and we'll show you where it is.
All right. Easy enough for all of you to get back over there. You realize the sleds would be a struggle to get down.
Yeah.
The sled. But all of you in general could.
Oh dear.
Should we make our presence known and ask for them to come up to us? I mean, at least in that way we have the high ground if they're hostile.
Perhaps. I don't know. We certainly couldn't easily get Ave and this other sled down. And I hesitate to think that we'd be able to then also get Bragi down. Not without some difficulty. Perhaps asking someone from the village to come meet us up here would be better. especially if they're not thrilled with outsiders coming through their territory. I don't know. Let's say...
They might also not appreciate us drawing attention to their village if they...
Oh, did we meet up with him?
Fen just kind of like
Oh.
pops up out of the snow.
No.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was...
By the way,
Yeah, you guys are now at the edge, and you can see this village.
Are we at the
Yeah,
edge?
just... It's right down there, and you can see right over there, there's a platform that seems to go on a pulley system down into that valley yonder.
From our knowledge of kind of this large island, is that basically the northern edge?
It would be like the northwestern side is kind of where you are. You are not completely at the northern side, but you are
Okay.
at the 9 o'clock of it.
Okay. And from there, would it make sense if we wanted to go south along the mountain range, if we could get down into the valley, to get out of the Valley of Odin rather than crossing it again? Could we go along the coastline?
There are multiple ways that one could theoretically get out of the valley. If this goes down to some sort of ground level, it is possible that if you went west, you could find some sort of edging where you are outside of the valley.
Within how long a time frame if we kept a good pace?
It depends kind of where it drops you.
Hmm.
Currently, it is not the easiest to pinpoint yourselves.
Hmm.
Because you've kind of been cutting through a mountain, which
Yeah.
doesn't have the best, there weren't a lot of cartographers to be like, I got this.
Mm.
It is not the most well-documented area because people don't come here.
Well, we're on the mountain, not the peak as I understand it, but pretty high up. Can we see the edge of the valley from here?
From where you are, you can see this rift, this town. You can see the way back behind you. Just because of the layout, there are in a lot of directions still tall peaks of rock around you.
Okay.
But also the visibility is low.
All right. Okay. That's fair.
So being like, haha, when people stand at the top of a mountain and can see some stuff sometimes, that's not really the situation here.
Okay, I see.
Does it look like there's a path that still continues on this ridge of mountain, going this way though? Or is it just the only way this path goes is down towards this town?
The only visible and the most apparent path is this town that goes downwards or back the other way, or trying to, you think if you were going to continue up the mountain and try to go as north as you could try to find a way across. But from where you are, you do not see a point of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So with the experience that Turgic has living in mountainous regions or areas, do those homes look like they're built in any specific way that he's familiar with?
Go ahead and roll me intelligence with advantage.
18.
Okay. You see that there is sort of a dwarven influence. The fact that they are really mostly using stone, but it does not look of dwarven design.
Okay.
What would you guys like to do?
Should we call out to them, ask for them to send someone up?
I don't think being loud in this environment would serve anybody well. probably the reason why these people have been undisturbed is they've kept to themselves. Probably it would be best if we sent someone down, 2 someones perhaps at most, as a sort of emissary, ambassador, whatever, and inquire about whether or not there was someone who might be comfortable coming up to meet with us.
Yes, and I think we should decide what they can do for us or not. Just to say hello might be very dangerous. You know, we don't. I mean, they're here, and they've survived this place, which is very dangerous for us. They must be very powerful, or are thinking such.
Either very powerful or they're very canny to the ways of this valley in ways that we aren't.
And that might be worth it in itself to have conversations with people that know the depths of this valley better than we do. If nothing else, we may be able to gain knowledge from them. They don't appear to have much to hunt or crops here, so they must trade with someone for their food. Presumably, they may know a route out of here. If we send an emissary, I may be able to cover them with bow from here in the worst event, but hopefully they'll be friendly and accommodating.
That seems to be the wisest course of action that I can glean. I think so. So who among us is perhaps the best speaker, the most persuasive? We've certainly had
Roshan.
excellent showings from Saga. Roshan, of course, is a very well-experienced bard.
Personally, I think no one should go alone.
I do agree with you there.
Well, I love meeting new people, so if you guys want me to go, I'll go. But if somebody else wants to, that's fine too.
I do have to say, Saga would probably be the least possibly threatening person to send.
So let's send the most threatening person with her.
I see where you're coming from there, but perhaps it would be best not to send mixed signals, no?
I suppose I can make my way down with Saga.
Will you both be comfortable with that? Will you be okay?
How are we getting down?
There's the stairway that moves down that way.
Oh.
Across the face of the ridge.
Okay. I'm just, I haven't been super comfortable with heights lately. They're a little bit...
Of course. What I may do is I may go down perhaps at least halfway with you, so I can keep an eye on the situation from a little bit closer. I can also perhaps relay signals up to Fen here on the peak of the ridge, just in case things go bad.
Do you want to go down there? Or... Do you want to talk to them, or...
I've not much experience, is the trouble.
Well, you're never gonna get experience if you don't go do it. I mean, aren't you the leader of everybody here? I mean, we've been following you for a while now.
Best to try, yeah? Okay, alright. Roshan, Nana, Roshan and Saga and I will make our way down. Gorbjorn, Fen, Tordrict, Bragi, if you can stay up here, stay safe. Fen, keep an eye on us from the ridge. Hopefully we won't need covering fire. Hopefully everything will be fine, all will be friendly, and all will be safe.
Saga, the little lights that you make, the pretty little lights.
Yes.
Can you leave one here? And if anything goes wrong, just make it go away.
Alright.
How high is the cliff?
Your range is like 120 feet, right?
Yeah.
You're fine. It is definitely with
Okay,
it.
good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have a bunch of them around us, and then I'll put one beside you guys, and then yeah, sure.
All right,
I mean,
if- if-
I could do the horse thing again, like I did last time, if that was easy to recognize. But
It's just a little light. If it goes away, we know something's gone wrong and we'll come to help.
that's pretty boring. But okay.
Sometimes boring can be very helpful in a situation that's gone bad.
Yeah, all right.
So Nana, Roshan, and Saga, are you going to make your ways down? What's marching order?
Well,
I'll
I
be in the
suppose
middle.
if I'm leading, I'll go first. Roshan
Roshan
middle,
on
Saga behind.
Okay. And you guys are not stealthing. You are trying to sort of make your presence known. You are not trying
Yeah.
to sneak up on these houses.
No, we're not trying to be sneaky stealthy. We're just, I don't have any weapons out. I have my hands plainly visible. Not, up like, don't shoot, but just visible. At my sides, peaceable.
All right. You all start making your way down. It's a bit slick, but it seems like these stairs have been maintained. That like the snow is not as high as you think it should be. It seems ice has been broken away from it. You start to make your way down, and there's a house you're getting very close to. It's the one that had the smoke coming from the top that was very visible. And you make it down, and it's sort of pressed up into the wall of the stone and has a little bit of a landing around it. And as you sort of get right before the landing, you see the door swing open, and lumbering taller than all of you, 8 feet tall figure, wielding a curved blade, just large and imposing, covered in fur, huge tusks, and a trunk at the front. Steps forward, wearing like warm sort of clothing, looks over the group and speaks in a language only Saga recognizes, and that is where we are going to take our break.
Dang it, DM!
We are going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be right back. If you want to stick around, see what happens, see who this mysterious figure is, finish our story. We'll be back in exactly 10 minutes. Thank you guys so much, and see you in a little bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Backs of Gods. We're just back from our break. Thank you for sticking around, and also thank you for joining us right now if you just got here. Just a quick recap. The team has found a ledge where large stone houses were built into the side of this mountain face. As Roshan, Saga, and Nana approach, a tall figure appeared from inside the closest house, towering 8 feet tall, wielding a curved blade, body covered in fur, huge sort of expanded ears, large tusk, and a large trunk coming out the front of the face. Saga, you're the only one who understands when this creature starts talking. Strangers, why have you come here? And you see, like, it kind of moves the curved blade a bit forward, but it's more like it's pointing. Between the two of them for a moment, and Saga excitedly replies, making similar sounds, not as deep and guttural, but mimicking as best she can. What do you say in reply?
Hello. I don't think I've met you, but I've met other people of your kind. We're just here to say hello. We need a place to stay for the night. We're all friends. It's nice to meet you. I'm Saga. These are my friends, Nana and Ro. There's a few more of us up there. It's nice to meet you.
You see, this man looking at you, and his head tilts a little bit. I was not expecting that you knew this language. But
It's
Why
like-
is he giving us warnings in that language?
but he seems confused as he kind of looks around and then looks at the other two of you. Do they understand?
No, no, they don't. Well, actually, do you guys?
I just start ping at you.
What? What do you
Do,
want?
do we what?
Do you speak Loxodon?
Do we speak
Decidedly no.
Oh, all right. Well, I do. These are Loxodon. He was asking if you guys also speak. I met a tribe of them once a little while back. Made some friends there. They were very nice.
what? How very handy. That's good news. I would assume you introduced yourself. You were your usual
Uh-huh.
bubbly self, after all.
Well, I introduced you as well. I told them that there were everybody else was up there.
Okay. Would you? Well,
Do you want me to tell them something?
Do they shake hands? And I will reach out my hand to shake
what is the customary greeting?
Yeah.
He looks at your hand and then looks back at you, and he looks to Saga. I'm kind of just messing with him. And being like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, and he's making kind of a mad looking face, oh man, I don't like that, but I'm cool with it.
No.
And then you just hear kind of a and it's this weird laugh through a trunk, and he reaches out and he comes and he pats you on the back. Can you tell your friends I am Nalrus? Nice to meet you.
Oh, all right. This is Nauris. He says, "Very nice to meet you." And he was just playing with you, Ro. He was all right. He wasn't mad.
Oh, wonderful. Naurus. Naurus, is that right?
Yeah, a little bit more on the R, but yeah.
I'll try my best.
Okay. Nauris. Yeah.
I have never. My family and I have not had guests, but I feel my wife will kill me if I turn them away. Also, a storm is coming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you tell him, please? We've got an injured person up on the mountain. You remember Bragi? We also have.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. that came out very denigratingly. It was not intended that way. Sorry.
I know I can look a little bit airheaded, but I do know
I know. I'm sorry. That came out very wrong.
It's just I have trouble remembering things sometimes. It's really
I cannot understand anyone.
Oh no. Just tell him we've got an injured person and well,
we want to come down and have a dinner, right?
Yes. We'll need some help.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. We have in one of our companions is injured up there, and we would really like it if we could camp here for the night, and maybe if you could help us a little bit. I'm sure we could help you in return. I am a very good stone carver, and I'm sure that everyone else has very good skills that we can help if we need to, if you need us to.
I am sure we can discuss skills over dinner. Companionship is a price on its own. Let me assist you with your companion.
Well, thank you. He says
What did he say?
companionship is a price. I think it was positive. I think he said come down. It's all fine. He's
good.
very nice. He said his wife would kill him if he didn't help us out.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I didn't think we'd meet civilized people out here. This is wonderful.
I told
This is
you you'd be
wonderful.
fine. I told you you'd be fine.
Well, forgive me for being a little cautious given everything we've seen.
Your friend at the top?
Yeah.
Right. I shall go assist. Wait here. I will introduce you to my family.
Okay.
Saga sends a few more of her dancing lights up there, the little jellyfish-shaped dancing lights, and they make a smiley face and kind of bounce around.
Okay. I don't know if Fen can see us from here, but Nana gives him a thumbs up.
I'm sure he has somewhat of
puts his
a...
bow away.
You watch as this mammoth Luxodon makes his way up the stairs. Kind of quicker than you guys had, just very used to it. Makes his way up. The rest of you then watch as a mammoth Luxodon pops up from the other side and begins to speak to you in Luxodon, none of you understanding.
Oh no.
And kind of looks around and is like, okay, like he makes note of Froggy and like, okay. And is trying to talk to all of you like and, and then
does Froggy understand?
Froggy is kind of like nodding. Mm-hmm.
Just
you
smile
watch
and nod.
As this Luxodon's eyes then focus in on Ave and he stops talking.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say to him in Sylvan, I assume you're a friend. Did I get a response from him?
He looks at you for a moment, and there's like a slight spark of realization, and he repeats the word very shakily, friend, back to you in Sylvan. But it does not sound like his native tongue by any stretch.
Well, we got something.
He walks over and scoops Broggy up and just starts walking back down. And Broggy's can't really do much about it, so he just kind of lets it happen. He's like, this guy could yeet me off the mountain. I really can't do anything. And he kind of makes a motion for the rest of you, and
probably with his trunk like, oh?
Yeah, the trunk's like, yeah, this way. He does point to Ave, and then gives the motion to follow, and then starts to make his way down with Broggy.
Gorbjorn, I'll help you with him if you'd like.
What about other sled?
I think it might be best to leave it here for now.
Could always come back.
We could...
Grabbing his gold, like, never again.
Here, we've got a couple of snow shovels. We've got some shovels. Let's bury it. We'll bury it in the snow, and we'll come back for it in the morning. Is that satisfactory? It's gold, it won't tarnish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could bury the other sled.
Okay, so you guys kind of cover up that sled. You pick up Ave, and all of you start to make your way down to this house. The closer you get, the stronger the smell of cooking food becomes prominent. He looks to Saga. Okay, I will introduce you. She is very excitable. And you watch as he walks in carrying Broggy. Sessa, I have friends. And you hear a reply in Luxodon. You don't have any friends. I do today.
Oh my god.
And he kind of holds the door like to the side and like presents all of you. And you see what looks like kind of a slightly smaller, I would not say there is a too much difference feminine masculine in this case. But this slightly smaller Luxodon looks to you. Oh, and all you hear is just like, but
Wasn't me.
Friends, hello.
Hello, hi. My name is. I'm sorry if my accent is a little strange. I learned from a different tribe. They're much further west of here. But hello, I am do you know? Oh, I'll talk about that later. I'm Saga. This is Nana. That's Roshan. Is everyone else here?
Yes, everybody else would have been, I think, down the mountain by now.
He's holding Broggy. The tall one is Gorbjorn, and the short one is Tordrick, and the mad one is Fen.
We don't understand any of this. We just know she's pointing at us.
Like, hello.
Yes, hello.
Nalorus looks to you, Saga, and then kind of looks at everybody. It is very nice to meet everyone. As I said, I am Nalorus. This is my wife, Sessa. And he kind of does like a whistle with his trunk. And there seems to be another room in the house, and the door kind of swings open, and a very small little Luxodon runs out. He's about half your height.
Oh no!
This is my son, Canute.
Canute.
Can we understand the names at least? Kinda?
They can easily be pointed out to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is Nalorus.
Saga's always doing her best to translate back and forth.
Sessa is his wife, and of course Naris, and this is Canute, their son? Yeah.
They invite
Did you tell them they have a lovely family?
Nana says you have a lovely family.
Oh,
I think so as well.
yes, she does as well.
Oh,
As she kind of like motions over all of you.
she says our
Very
family
small
is lovely.
but nice.
We're small but nice.
Oh, that was very kind.
Oh
My
my!
goodness.
And you see that she's now looking at Ave.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry to bring him in here. That's Nana's brother. He passed away during the trip, but in his will it says we can't leave him, so we're taking him with us. Yeah.
We'll be taking him home. We won't leave him here. Could you let them know?
Oh yeah. We're not leaving him here. We're taking him back home. He's just coming with us on the journey because we're finishing the journey with him, and he's coming back home. But he won't bother you, obviously.
I understand. I know where we can place him. I would prefer not to have him around Canute.
Oh, of course. I get a little uncomfortable as well.
I will show your friends. You tell them I am leading them to a spot. And you watch as Nalorus starts to make his way back out of the house.
We're gonna take Ave somewhere, safe.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's good news. Okay, all right.
Yeah. You'd rather not have him near, Canute and the other kids.
Oh, of course, the poor thing.
That's okay.
Naturally.
Nalorus leads you outside, kind of around his house on the landing. And in the back, there seems to be like the way they seem to do a lot of storage is with nets. And he kind of takes some things out of one of the nets and kind of holds it open and sort of motions to it.
Oh, nice.
I would put Ave inside of it.
Okay, and he puts it up, and then he drapes a piece of fabric over it. And then he pats, like, basically anybody who's near him on the back, like, kind of a condolences sort of thing, and walks back inside.
These are such good people.
You see Sessa running around. I wasn't expecting so many people. Would you like to help me gather more food?
Oh, sure. She'd like to know if we're able to help gather food.
Oh, of course. We've come on rather suddenly, and there's a lot of us. We will surely be able to help.
What do they eat here?
Absolutely, we can definitely help. Fenna's wondering what you guys eat around here.
Oh, I can show you. And you watch as after Nalorus comes in, Sessa like is exiting at the same time, and they kind of squeeze past each other. Right this way.
They're gonna show us.
Okay.
For everybody who follows her, she takes you over to the things that look like clotheslines. All of the houses are connected. Each person does a job, and we are able to communicate and transport things with this, and they do not have to touch the ground.
Okay.
She reaches out for one of them and starts to pull it.
I'm guessing Saga's like
Yeah,
translating this
yeah.
for us as she's talking. Okay.
Yeah, you get it like one sentence, like a one word or so
The
delay.
Cliff Notes version.
Yeah.
Luli,
Saga's Cliff Notes.
Luli is in charge of a lot of gardening, and you see what looks like, it's very strange. It looks like upended plants that have been tied onto the string in rows like a garden, with the roots upwards towards the air, and then like dangling down. But they're just exposed, but they are covered in vegetables.
Fascinating. That's ingenious.
That's so amazing. Nana says you guys are geniuses, and Luli must be.
Oh, Luli is very smart. This is the way people in the valley have been doing vegetables for a while because we cannot use the dirt.
Oh yeah. The dirt's really bad around here. We've noticed.
Could you ask them how long they've been living here?
Oh yeah, how long have you been around?
Well, there have been generations of us. I've always lived here, and my parents always lived here, and their parents.
Oh, all right.
I mean, we always didn't live on the side of the mountain, but we've always lived in the valley.
Oh, okay. They've always lived in the valley.
You said generations? Incredible.
And she like
Incredible.
hands each of you like baskets and starts like plucking off vegetables and putting them into each person's basket. We will add these to the stew so everyone can eat.
Saga, can you ask her what's at the bottom of this pulley system?
Oh, okay. Roshan is wondering what's at the bottom of the pulley system.
Oh! Well, I don't really do much with it. I don't like to travel too much, but it is a way that one can access some trading routes, and it is a way to get off the mountain a bit more efficiently instead of having to walk past the giants.
Oh, who do you trade with? And are the giants not very nice to you? I'm sorry, I have so many questions.
That's all right. And she starts to kind of lead you all back inside, all of you carrying this, and you can see just like a huge stew pot boiling on like a fire near a chimney, and you can see that's where the smoke is starting to come out. And she starts to cut at it, and she's like using her trunk to like cut and like move her hands while she talks.
3 hands! So efficient!
It depends. Sometimes, and just like moving things and throwing stuff around while she cuts. Sometimes, I know some of the people in the village have sort of times that they leave stuff down in the rift, and sometimes some people will pick it up. We don't do that very often, at least not anymore. But I know some people still do trade. That's when we need something that we can't provide for ourselves, but mostly we can provide for ourselves. On the topic of the giants, and you hear Canute just like a kind of like a yell, and he like puts his arms above his head and he starts sort of like walking like this.
Oh no!
And you hear him. I thought when Dad went outside that you were all giants and were going to eat us.
Oh no. No way, I would never do that. That would be so mean.
Our people have had issues with the giant community for a while. We had done bartering with them, trying to provide food for our safety, but we do not have any meat, and we did not provide enough, I suppose. And they became very aggressive, and we used to live more on the mountain, but we have now had to move to the side for protection purposes, so they cannot get to us.
Saga explains.
I see.
Oh.
Oh, that's a shame. All right.
Well,
Ask them what they want for here. What goods do they lack? They seem to be self-sufficient, but they say they trade occasionally.
Yeah. We're Finn and I am as well wondering what you guys need. You guys trade for just the things you need. What are those things?
Well, it has been quite a while since we've traded with outside individuals. Only a few of us have actually ever seen people like you. Usually it's sort of drop-offs and then somebody will leave something in its place. It's really been more of tools that we have sometimes been in short supply of so that we could work with the stone. But besides that, we really don't want for anything.
Yeah.
Except we need metals and stone are best. We have found working with wood can lead to corruption. We do our best to limit that as much as possible.
Hearing the translation, I would be like, "What of gold?"
Oh. Do you guys like gold? Gorbjorn might have some he might be able to give, I think, is what he is getting at.
You don't know what I said.
You don't know what she said. She assumes you want to give it away.
Obviously, he just wants to be nice.
You can't understand that, though.
I know.
Gold is a hard metal to work with. We do not have much in the way of luxury, but it is a kind offer. If I thought I could work well with it, I would be much more interested.
He's not really very interested, Gorbjorn. So but thank you for offering.
Everyone, sit down! And you see Sessa, like, running around, like, grabbing bowls with her trunk in her hands.
Oh, are we sitting?
Yeah. I think it's time to eat.
Oh, wonderful. It smells just wonderful. Oh my goodness.
Roggy is just sort of, like, sitting in a chair at the table, just kind of slumped over. But is able to kind of, like, prop himself up a bit when everybody else starts sitting. Do all of you go and sit at the table? You see Canute comes over and he like pushes something that looks like an ottoman over to one of the sides as they try to make it more accommodating for everybody.
Oh, can Nana kind of follow Canute's lead and sort of like assist with moving the chairs around and making sure there's enough space for everybody and so on?
Yeah, when you go to help him, he's like pushing it and he kind of tries to tell you, I don't need help, I'm very strong. But you don't understand what he's saying, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
And he's like,
yes.
Yeah, and he like nods at you when you nod at him.
I would like to end up next to Canute for the dinner.
Okay,
that's valid.
Easy enough. The table's pretty high up, and you see Canute has a little bit of a high chair that he sits in. So that he can reach. Nana just sobs the whole dinner. All right,
such a wholesome community.
All right, here we go. And Sessa starts like scooping out, like holding in one hand and then scooping out with the tusk, and fills your bowls with warm vegetable soup.
Oh, I haven't had a warm meal like this in too long.
What are you doing on the mountain?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you very much. We haven't eaten anything like this in a very long time, and we're all incredibly grateful for your hospitality.
Of course.
But also, yes, we're out here on the mountain. I am specifically following a prophecy of my Lady Satyr. She is my goddess, and I do as she requests. I get prophecies from her, and she can tell the future, and it's to help make the world a better place. So I am following that, and these people as well are accompanying me on my mission, and they have a bit of their own mission. Ave, the man that we hung up in the nets, he sent us out on the mission originally. It's to be able to cure the corruption that's near our well, not my, but most of the rest of these guys' village, Golvig, or no, Golunder.
Golunder.
Yeah, that one.
I see. I think it is a difficult task. I do not see how it can be accomplished, but if you and this Lady Seder and your friends believe you have found a way to accomplish this, then that is astounding.
We are making very good progress. Yep.
Good. I'm glad.
Thanks.
There's a bit of small talky here between husband and wife as they talk a little bit about Boone, who lives a couple houses over, and how that she wanted to get some fabrics so that she could bake something. And he's nodding and he's talking about trading and.
During the meal, I would like to just use my spoon to go over to Canute's bowl and pretend to nonchalantly steal from his bowl, but let him catch me.
Oh!
Just a look of shock as his ears perk up. And he grabs your wrist with his trunk and he just starts shaking your hand. Soup flying about.
Oh my god.
And and Sasa starts yelling at him and he's like, "He was stealing my food." It's like, and they go back and forth a little bit. And then you see that he's now on the prowl, he's not eating, he's just watching your bowl. And he's holds a spoon with his trunk and is kind of moving it around, but has a second one in his hand, trying to reach up and around and take from your bowl now.
I will make a point to talk to someone on the other side so he can have whatever he wants.
Oh my god.
And he looks so proud of himself that he was able to steal this bite of food, and he just kind of a little bit of a smug look on his face, he's like, "I did it." And then he goes back.
I did a sneaky.
I have done it. Oh, as I said, it's hard to tell in the early stages, but a storm is coming. So I advise that you certainly stay here through the night.
Thank you very much.
Sadly, we don't have beds, but if you have something, we can of course set you up on the floor, and we have some blankets to hopefully help. What is your plan when you leave here? Are you done in the valley?
Nana will explain what he said to her. What is our plan?
Well, near as I can tell, probably we're more or less finished in the valley. We do need to get out before our rations run out. So perhaps if this trading route that they use down the pulley system leads out of the valley, perhaps faster than we might be able to make it down the mountain, if we'd have permission to use it, we would very much appreciate it. We'd then make our way out of the valley and back home to our village, Golunder.
Yes, Saga explains most of that, and our sled was stolen from, so we're lacking quite a lot of the rations that we brought out here. So we're trying to make our way back as quick as possible. So if that'd be all right to use your police, I don't know if we'd be disturbing anyone, but
I see. I would have to talk to Branranaj.
Oh, Branranaj.
He is more in charge of access. I do not see him having much of a complaint. If I vouch for you, this will take you to a lower level. It will not take you fully out of the valley, but if you continued, this is a path out. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure from which way you came, but this is certainly a way out.
I'm not sure either, but
around you out somewhere near the western coast.
Okay. The western
just
coast?
the western coast. We would be heading westward from here.
Yes. East would take you inwards towards the valley.
Right. And if I'm remembering the map right, Galunder is more along the eastern side of the Valley of Odin. Is that right?
Galunder is
South
south.
Central.
Galunder's south.
From where
south,
you guys
south.
are, it is south.
Okay.
But I think if we go west outside the valley, then when we go to the south side of the valley, we could hit the village that we needed to speak with an old friend of Ave's.
That's right. Yes. I wrote it down. Oh dear.
The friend was Dagwood.
Dagwood, that's
Dagwood.
right. I've heard that he makes fantastic sandwiches. Let me see.
I do not know your references here. Not in my house.
All right.
Yes, this would. I know there are settlements along the west. So if you are low on supplies, hopefully you can at least get to there. I am sure we have some that we can spare. We are very. We try not to have any waste, so we make what we need. But I'm sure there is definitely something we could give, if possible.
When Saga translates that for us, Nana will point out, well, if there are any tools or anything that they might need urgently at the moment, we'd be willing to trade. We wouldn't want to necessarily take from out of their mouths.
Oh, tools would be very much appreciated.
We can see what we have.
I'm sure trade would be definitely easier to go about. I saw that you had 2 sleds. The lift can be lifted up to the ledge.
Oh!
So you can board from there once the storm has passed, and then we will lower you. It is a long ride down, I will warn you.
That's all right. Long is far better down than much, much longer the longer way round. Off the mountain. Good lord.
Bragi looks over to Saga. Could you ask them if they have some sort of washroom or some equivalent?
Oh, yeah. Excuse me, Sessa?
Yes.
Brocky, I think he has to poop or something. Do you have a place where you go?
Of course. No reason to be embarrassed. Let me give you a hand. Oh, look at him. She kind of over and helps him stand up and takes him like to a door, and he kind of motions that he should be able to walk. And she said, "Oh, okay," and closes the door behind him. Does anyone want seconds?
More food, anybody?
Yes.
If you could spare a second serving,
Of course.
I want one too, please.
Refill people's bowls.
What sort of shape did Bragi look like he was in? Is he looking better, more well nourished?
Does he need somebody to walk him in and change his diaper? Kind of.
To assist.
No, or does he look like he's gonna fall over dead?
He looks a bit better than he did, not a lot. He does not look like he is about to die, but he does. I wouldn't say he doesn't look that far away, but it does not look like he is getting worse.
Okay.
So he kind of wanders his way in, and at least he's able to kind of walk now.
Saga just mentions to everyone else that was the bathroom in case they.
In case anybody wanted to know.
Yeah, if anyone.
That's good to know.
As we are wrapping up the meal, Roshan would shuffle around in his. Actually, he'd probably be wearing it around his wrist. I got a child's tricolor bracelet.
That's right.
Way back in Galone, and I want to take it off and present it to Canute.
He looks at it wide-eyed. Wow, which is just kind of like a. Wow, and he kind of holds out his trunk to you.
Oh, Yes, just I'll tell him to take care of it. It is very old, and I will tie it on his trunk.
The second it hits his trunk, he starts running around with it. He just starts like running, and kind of like waving his trunk in the air as he runs about. And Setsa, you hear her kind of be like, "No running in the house!" And he doesn't really. He kind of like slows down, but is making like the running motion.
Nana knows the tone. She does not understand the language, but she knows the tone.
You see that Nalorus starts to get up and he like goes to a storage area and it looks like he's pulling out these like hand knitted quilts and starts like bringing them out and putting them down.
Oh.
You're welcome to stay here and set up how you like in the living room. We will be in the back room. If there's anything else you might need, I am happy to assist and I will talk to Abranonage in the morning.
Saga, would you just ask him, please, how long do these storms usually last when they pass through?
How long is the storm probably going to be?
Well, usually it's very mathematical, and Edros usually.
Oh, that's
deals
a
with
hard
that,
word.
But
Just saying.
And locks it on.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still have issues saying it, and this is my language all the time.
Yeah.
But there is a pattern to the storms. There are 3 small and then 1 big. So this is going to be the 3rd small.
Oh, okay. Wait. How far apart do they usually arrive?
Usually a few days within each other. Usually this is about maybe a little over a week's occurrence.
Oh, okay.
3 storms and then a large storm that lasts multiple days.
Has it always been that way?
It's been that way since I can remember. We've been able to track them pretty well.
I'm a little worried about us getting caught in a storm on our way back.
Saga, without disturbing them, can you ask them if they are aware of any invisible beasts that live up in the valley?
Perhaps on the mountain, like whatever attacked Bragi.
Oh, okay.
Don't alarm them, though.
Don't alarm
Yes.
them. Don't let them think that we might have led that here.
You see he's examining your faces. He can't understand you, but he understands a hushed tone, and then he focuses on Saga.
I'm not sure how to say this, if this word properly. Hopefully I pronounce it correctly. But, have you ever noticed imbibable, creatures around? Like something, if you put something out, then it, like, goes away, or, like, something stealing your crops, or something like that?
You hear Canute in the back, imbibable! Begins to repeat that over and over.
Oh, no.
Nalorus looks to you. There are strange things that occur sometimes. There are creatures that are definitely in that vein of description you have provided me. We do not have too much issue. Where we are set up, it's not that we are immune. It is that we try to avoid things that can be corrupted as best we can.
Oh, do you think the creatures are corrupted? Those?
I assume that most terrible things are, but it could be something different. This is a strange place. Some people talk of spirits. There are many explanations for many things here. None of them confirmed, so it is perchance maybe something different.
Saga does her best to rehash that to you guys.
Okay. All right. thank them again for their very kind hospitality, and we'll do our best not to disturb them in the night unnecessarily.
All right. Nana says again, thank you very, very much. We're super grateful, and we'll try our best not to be, I don't know, as she said, to disturb you in the night. Maybe she, like, has a lot of snoring or something. I haven't noticed it, but she just wants to make sure that we don't disturb you, which I hopefully don't do.
Not a problem at all. I will make sure I keep the fire roaring just so you guys don't get too cold out here.
Thank you.
You watch Sessa go over and kind of tend to the fire a bit. We will also leave the stew out just in case you want any more. I can't imagine how long your travels have been or what you may have gone through.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been traveling for about 3 years now, and it reminded me. I was just wondering, have you ever met Tonka and Elliot? They're the people that I met, the Luxon that I met when I learned. They taught me Luxon.
I am sorry, you may have met more Luxodon than I have. I have never met a Luxodon outside of my own village.
Really? That's so amazing. Have you ever wanted to? Do you want to go out? Are you happy here?
I think we are quite content, but I would never say no if they wanted to visit. We would just need notice, and we could lower the pulley for them, and they could come on up.
Yeah. I don't know how much you guys visit each other and stuff. This is just so far out. I just can't imagine living so far away from everybody around. It's just like, what do you guys do if you want to get like little trinkets or presents for people or something like that?
Oh, well, it kind of depends on one's trade. Some people like to knit, some people carve stone. It really just depends on what you're good at. Sometimes you could present somebody with a handful of tomatoes, and that's a pretty good gift. You see the back door opens a bit, and you watch as Sessa kind of like walks over and goes, oh, and it looks like she grabs something off a counter and then goes into the back room with Broggy. We got this quilt actually for my birthday, and he holds up a quilt, and it has like little like Luxodon heads on it.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
That's absolutely beautiful. Do you guys use your own fur to knit with, or where do you get the yarn from?
It really depends on who's making it. Sometimes people can make it from fur. That's a bit difficult, but sometimes people use the kind of the husks of plants and dry them out and use those the best they can. It really just kind of depends on what's going on. One guy had a sheep for like a long time. There was just a sheep here.
Oh.
Can I go check on whatever that sound was for Broggy?
You go over, and as you're approaching, you see Sessa is like starting to open the door, and she looks at you, and she kind of goes like, burr, burr, like she kind of does like a ta-da sort of thing, and you're like, and Broggy makes his way out, beard shaved from his face, haircut. He looks so much younger.
Wow.
Instead of and just even though he looks just near death,
still rough.
He's been eating, and it just seems a few days, and there's color in his cheeks a bit, and he looks like a man in his early 30s. He still looks tired and sick, but he is no longer hidden under a huge kind of gnarled beard and hair, and he just kind of walks out, and he looks kind of embarrassed from the ta-da. Like, he's just like, I just wanted to shave.
You look a lot more comfortable. That is very true.
Sokka kind of
nice haircut.
Runs up and smacks her hands on his face. Oh my gosh!
His face.
It's so smooth. You're gonna be so cold now.
Oh my god.
I'm already incredibly cold.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
But I will do my best. I will tell you if it's much of a difference.
Well, it
I'm
looks,
gonna quilt in the meantime.
Just curls up in a quilt. Makes his way over. Sessa, seeming to wanting to give a hand, she comes over and she also helps kind of move Broggy over and sets him up with a quilt, and she like tucks him in real aggressive.
Oh.
She like pats him on the head with her trunk. Right. We are going to go put Canute to bed, and then we will go to bed shortly. If any of you need anything, do not be afraid to ask.
Could I have some stones?
I think that's probably doable. He's gonna walk outside, and he comes back in, and he presents you with kind of, it looks like, kind of chipped off chunks of the mountainside, and kind of sets them down for you.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And he nods to everyone. Tell them I said good night.
He says goodnight, and if we need anything, just let him know. He's putting Canute to bed, by the way.
Oh, good night, and thank you again.
They wave and kind of nod while you talk, Nana, and then the three of them make their way into the back. You see that quilts have been left out for you. The fire's roaring. It's just kind of nice. Is there anything you guys would like to do before bed? It's kind of getting late.
How long do you think it took them to build this place?
It's stone, no less.
Would Tordrick be able to give a guess?
I mean, your guesstimate would be that it does not seem there are a lot of Luxodon here. You have to assume that this took a pretty long time. You would think over a year based on what you've seen.
Tordrick replies, at least a year. At least. There's not many here.
Well, they did say they'd been living here for generations. They'd have an awfully long time to get it in.
I'm going to go pray. I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for them.
Yes,
Okay, Tordrick goes and he starts to pray. Anything else, Gorbjorn?
I wanted to check outside and see if anything was near Ave's body.
Okay, 1 second.
Just to check in.
Stop it!
Oh no! Are the cats misbehaving again?
He's pawing at a light bulb. He's like swatting a light bulb. What's wrong with you? I usually try to just let them do what they want during stream, but he's just hitting a light bulb.
That does make me concerned for your fur children.
Maybe you should change it. How many?
I'm helping. He's terrible. Okay, sorry. You go to check on Ave, and if you look around, you don't really see anything. You see once again those dust particles flying about, and sometimes they rest on him, but then like a gust of wind takes them away pretty easily. But you don't see anything.
Do I see anything magical about his corpse though with the Odin's ring?
I would like you to roll Arcana with advantage.
Ooh, intriguing.
Oh wow, both 18s, so 17 total.
Okay.
Yeah, that tracks.
you look at Ave, and as you concentrate on him, focusing on this, there is just a slight glow, just a little bit, and where his stomach would be under the layers and layers of tent, you see it kind of looks like soft glowing orbs, just very small, but it looks like a few of them.
I look at my stomach.
Yeah, you're like, you look at your own stomach and do not see that there. It doesn't have a nefarious feel to it, but you can vaguely see it when you focus on it.
I would like to, before we go to bed, I'm going to clean out the box that I found the child's bracelet in. It was full of coins. I will leave like 25 silver pieces and like 60 copper pieces in it, and just hide it somewhere where they won't find it before we leave.
Aww.
Okay. You go ahead and hide this coin for them to later find. Anything else anybody wants to do real fast?
Yeah, Nana would take just a quick tour around, make sure everybody's kind of secure, comfortable, okay, and then she's also going to step to one area and try to pray to Gulveg. She feels a little more comfortable with where we're at now, and maybe not quite so desperate as she was previously.
Okay, Nana, go ahead and roll religion. Anybody else before you all curl up to go to bed?
Kind of wanted.
Go ahead.
I wanted to make kind of like a noise trap on Ave's body as well. So if something does tamper with it, because something invisible is kind of in the way, it would like at least alert us or wake us up.
Yeah. Definitely easy to do. You saw that he had taken a few things out of the net that are made out of stone and metal, and if you set those up in that area around him, they would have to be moved to get to him. So you are able certainly to make something.
Awesome.
Ben's gonna take a hike back up the staircase and just take a look around, see if the snow's been disturbed at all, see if there's any footprints in the snow, just making sure that nothing followed us to this lovely, welcoming family's home.
Roll survival.
Survival?
Yep. You're looking for track.
17?
Okay. You look around, you only see tracks that you're pretty sure belong to you guys after kind of comparing them for a moment. It does not look like the sled has been disturbed, and as you look around, you don't see anything out of place.
Okay. Go through my bag about halfway down this staircase as I make my way back to the village or the hut or whatever it is, home. Take out a piece of chalk from my bag and kind of crush it up and like sprinkle it over the step so that if we check again in the morning, if anything's stepped on that step and the chalk's disturbed, we'll be able to tell.
Okay. Anybody else before bedtime?
Yes. Saga wants to, she's probably going to stay up a little bit late. Try not to be too loud. She wants to take those stones and carve a few things. She wants to carve a little Loxodon person that kind of resembles Canute a little bit, but bigger and kind of in this like kind of like the giant pose that he was doing at the beginning.
Yeah.
And she wants to also carve a bit of a it's not like a full ocarina, but she wants to kind of get a hole into one of the pieces of stone so it can kind of be like played a bit like an instrument. And she wants to carve another one into a really as nice as she can, a little flower. And each of them kind of has little hidden symbols of Lady Satyr in them. Just because, you gotta.
Yeah.
You start to chip away at this. You have got a couple hours that you're able to sit around and fiddle with stone. The stone seems very malleable. What he gave you, he seemed to understand kind of what you wanted to do, and it kind of works like limestone a bit, where it's pretty easy to chip away at. And you start to work on those. Everybody sets up for the night. Saga, you're one of the last people awake. I don't know if you guys wanted to do shifts, but you're currently inside of a home on a cliff. So it's kind of up to you.
If everyone else is asleep and it's just Saga, she's just gonna do a little bit of a little talk with Lady Satyr. Just updating on the good fortune that they've had and a bit of the bad fortune that they've had with the robbing of their cart and that everything is looking really positive because I think we're gonna be back on our way, back home soon. Because I think we got the torch like the prophecy says, and I think everything is going very, very well. And I just want to say thank you very much for the good fortune you've given us today.
You finish your speak with Lady Satyr. Nana, what did you get on your religion check?
My total was a 16.
Once again, you do not feel anything or hear anything of note.
Me?
Oh, no, Nana. But Saga, you're kind of warmed by the room and feeling as though you're actually accomplishing something, that you're moving through your tasks, that you're doing this for Lady Satyr, and it's actually happening. And it's kind of hard for everybody to stay awake when it's just you're so comfortable and the food was warm and you finally have like a full stomach and you didn't have to ration your food as you had been, where it's just like you eat a piece of jerky and a handful of nuts, Saga, eventually you kind of curl up in your pile of quilts, and the night begins to pass. Gorbjorn, while you're sleeping, you get a strange sensation where you wake up for just a moment and you feel eyes on you.
I'm looking around. Am I seeing one of my spooky friends I've been trying to pretend don't exist?
Yeah. You open your eyes and you see lying next to you, like next to your face, you see a woman's face. Spectral and shimmery. She's looking at you and you see she has curled horns about the side. And you can see that she is completely topless, and from the waist down, her legs and hips are covered with fur, and she has little cloven feet. And she's just kind of curled up, laying next to you, and just kind of staring at you. And when your eyes open, she waves a little.
I sit up. I'm not fully, but I'm trying not to wake anybody at the same time. And so I'm I see you.
She sits up too. And she lifts her hand and she points to her ring finger and then places it to her ear. Hello.
Ah! Hello?
She smiles at you, and she's kind of moved up on her knees so that she's now sitting up as well. I'm Loria Longwalks.
Can you cover yourself? And I throw a blanket through her,
It goes right through her.
Whoops.
Oh. I'm sorry, nobody really wore clothes. I've been following you guys for a while, and I saw you saw me, and I got scared, but you were very brave and you came to see me. But, I wanted to tell you I saw where your gold disc fell.
Where?
I can show you.
Can I insight?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a 10. So yeah, I'm greedy, and so is it here?
It is by that broken building, which is not far.
Can you show me in morning?
I can't really do well in the morning.
I'm going to stay up then until Fenn's done with this 4-hour meditation nap kind of thing.
Sure. Fen, would you be waking up after 4 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. She's kind of she's sitting and watching you. Are we Do you want to go?
I do, but I need to tell someone where I go.
Okay. You're very brave, so I think they will be okay when you go.
I'm starting to like get my stuff ready and like packing up and everything.
Okay, Fen, you rest your 4 hours, and you see Fen starting to rise.
Once he's clearly woken himself up, I'm sure he like peeks up at me. And I've been like kind of staring at him, waiting for it. like,
Have you not slept?
Loria is also staring at him too, but he can't see her.
I'm going to go look for my disc.
I think you're not going to go look for your disc.
I have to.
You have to. Why? It's a piece of metal. Gorbjorn.
It's my metal. My metal.
You're welcome to whatever metal we find along the rest of the way. Why do you want that?
Precious memory.
We've got precious memories and of very little here. Most of our memories are not precious. Most of our memories are of loss and abuse and the harrying we've had this whole way. What is that a memory of?
Either way, I must do this.
Well, you'll not go alone.
Then I have something to tell you on the way there.
All right, we need to leave a note for the others.
Loria has stood, and you kind of watch as she sort of clip-clops over to the door, and she just seems to kind of be excitedly waiting.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Can you write note? I don't know how.
All right, don't leave until I'm done. And leave a note, something to the effect of, Gorbjorn wanted to go on crazy mission at night to go find golden disc left in the snow that we couldn't find in broad fucking daylight earlier. I came with him to make sure he didn't fall in a goddamn hole in the ground. We'll be back by sunrise.
Just a bit passive aggressive.
Love Fen.
That's Fen to a T.
You just see Loria just kind of just waiting, very excited, a bit of like a bounce in her step, and she's mostly focusing on you, Gorbjorn, and kind of like if you look at something, she'll look over there too, and it's like,
Mostly it's trying to not look at her as he's been.
She's trying to like move around into your view.
But,
and you see her mouth moving, like, are we ready to go?
I'll nod at Fen, and it's like, you ready?
All right, let's go. Do you need a torch? Can you see in the dark?
I see fine.
All right.
She phases right through the door, and you watch her just like walk out.
So I open the door and hold it for Fen to follow.
She leads the way as she clip-clops her way very silently up the steps ahead of you, and she stops and she looks at the dust on the ground, the white dust, and she like leans down and you watch as some of the chalk blows away a little bit, and then she kind of clops past it.
So once we're outside the house, I would look to Fen. It's like, so I'm seeing a ghost, and
You're
she's
seeing a ghost as now in your vision now, or you're dating a ghost. What do you mean you're seeing a ghost?
It's very serious. No, she knows where my disc is. I am scared of what she may have planned for me. I'm assuming this is kind of trapped.
All right. Well, I'm glad you waited for me to rise to come with you. Or did you wait for me to rise so I could talk you out of this?
Mostly just to find me in the morning.
All right, well, I'm not gonna find you in the morning. I'm gonna come with you. Let us go. I see you won't be talked out of this, and I don't want to find you in the morning. I'd rather you make it back alive.
This is too strange to let go.
All right, tell me about this ghost.
She kind of is running around because she realizes you know the way, and then she kind of like walks next to Fen and like looks up at him and is kind of like walking like he walks, and then she'll kind of trudge ahead, and then she'll like walk by you and like.
Okay, Fen doesn't sashay. First of all, let's clear that up.
He's exactly like this. I hope you don't die either.
That means a lot.
Thank
What
you.
means a lot?
She
just-
makes her way.
Best wishes from Ghost.
All right.
It doesn't take too long for you guys to get back to the oasis. It wasn't very far away. And you watch as she kind of runs over to the rubble, and she stands next to, it kind of looks like where like 3 pieces have fallen, and one is on top of the other 2, and there's just like a tiny kind of like slit underneath. And she stands next to it. It fell here. I watched it slide off the sled when that thing attacked your friend.
You also saw the monster?
Yeah.
What did it look like?
Oh. It looked like a lot of things. But it had bones, and it was dark and shimmery. Sadly, I cannot grab your gold piece. I can't really grab things very well.
Okay. Do I need to lift the stone up to grab it at all, or?
You think that it's like just this. It seems slightly taller than how your piece would have been, so you could reach in and try and pull it out if you think it's in there.
Okay. Then I will haphazardly go for it.
All right. You watch Gorbjorn walk over and lean down, and he reaches under this piece, and your hand touches cold metal.
And I grab it.
And you see that she's kind of jumping, and she like claps her hands silently together. There you go.
Thank you so much. Is there something I could do for you?
Oh, well, I was actually hoping you could. And she looks past you, and she stops talking, and that is where we are going to stop for tonight.
No! Don't make it bad!
Thank you all so much for watching today, sticking around with us. We love having you here for On the Backs of Gods, episode 13. We will be back here on Monday, same time, same place. If you want to keep up on art or any announcements we have, we are at Backs of Gods on Twitter and Instagram. You can also go to the Dice Cult on Facebook, depending on what you're feeling. We have a lot of art on the Instagram. That's where I would go. Abby, would you like to tell us what's going on Wednesday?
Yes. On Wednesdays at 7:30 Central Time, we play. No, we do it at 8:30 No, it's 7:30. 7:30 Central Time. I'm gonna mess it up every time. We also play Dungeons and Dragons. I play Olivia, a very angry elf. And we're trying to help the corruption. Apparently, the wall around our city that's like keeping us all safe is cracking now. And yeah, one of the party members might have something to do with that. So.
Ooh. Frank, would you tell me what's happening on Friday?
Friday's a party on Twitch, brought to you by the Dice Cult Legends of Theia adventure stream. Underground story so far. The surface of the world has been destroyed in a big war, and so everybody's deep underground trying to start their life over.
Perfect. they drink, they have a good time, kind of a nice balance out for our lovely Monday show, which can be a
6 p.m.
little bit
Pacific.
intense or a bit cute, depends on the day, I guess. Josh, would you like to tell us what's happening on Saturday?
Sure. On Saturday, we are playing some vampires. It is the Saturday Night Horror, and every other weekend we play Call of Cthulhu, and this weekend it is Vampire the Masquerade, so we're gonna go investigate some murders.
Yeah, some spooky vampire murderers, investigated by spooky vampire murderers. I really think it just depends on your perspective, I guess.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
If you look over in the chat, we have our merch link if people want to show off their merch, if it's on their bodies right now and just want to be very fun and excited about it. We have merch. We have on the backs of God's merch, which is the 3 spears of Golveg. I think they're super neat, and I can't wait for my merch to show up. But that's just me. Once again, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching and supporting us in every way that you do. We'll see you next Monday. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.